Episode 4. Truth Serums. From Victorian Parlours to Cold War Spies. This video is for educational purposes only. I'm not a doctor, scientist, or intelligence agent, and nothing here is medical advice. All information is based on historical records, declassified documents, and credible sources. Welcome back to Pete's World of Poisonous Plants. Over the past 3 episodes, we've explored poisons in espionage, CIA mind control schemes, ricin hidden in an umbrella, and the kiss of death with cyanide pills and lipstick pistols. But for our finale, we're uncovering one of the strangest obsessions of all. The dream of a truth serum. Could a poison or potion really force someone to spill their secrets? Picture a respectable Victorian parlour. Lace curtains, polished silver, and 5 ladies seated for tea. The hostess suspects her husband of keeping company with one of her so-called friends. So she hatches a plan. In the teapot, alongside the Assam leaves, she adds a discreet dash of laudanum, opium tincture, common enough in every respectable home. She doesn't want to harm them, and certainly not to kill them, at least not yet. She just wants tongues loosened. The cups are poured. At first there's giggling and rosy cheeks, then words begin to slur. Questions are asked too bluntly. One guest grows sleepy, another blurts out more than intended, and before long secrets spill across the lace tablecloth. And if the ladies felt poorly the next day, that must have been the cucumber sandwiches, perhaps a little green around the edges, or the pâté, which was ever so slightly off. Of course, had she been bolder, she might have tried henbane or datura, plants long whispered about for their power to cloud the mind and loosen the lips. But those were dangerous games. Better to stick with laudanum this time. Whether this particular tea party really happened, we'll never know, but it's entirely plausible. Intelligent Victorian women had both the means and the motive, and it shows that the desire for a potion of truth is hardly new. Fast forward a few decades, and the world's most powerful spy agencies were trying much the same thing, only with far higher stakes. In World War II, the American OSS, forerunner of the CIA, began experimenting with scopolamine, a compound from henbane and datura. They believed it could make prisoners spill secrets. Small doses caused confusion, drowsiness, and memory lapses. Larger doses produced delirium and hallucinations. Interrogators reported that suspects under the influence sometimes babbled freely, but the problem was, they babbled nonsense as often as truth. The CIA picked up the thread in the 1950s. Under projects codenamed Bluebird, Artichoke, and later the infamous MKUltra, they tested belladonna, henbane, and datura alkaloids alongside synthetic hallucinogens like LSD. The dream was the same, a reliable truth serum. Meanwhile, across the Iron Curtain, the Soviets were no less curious. Reports from defectors describe scopolamine injections during interrogations, intended to break down resistance. But again, the result was rarely clarity. It was usually chaos. Here's why. Scopolamine works by blocking acetylcholine in the brain. This neurotransmitter is vital for memory, attention, and alertness. Block it, and you don't get honesty. You get confusion. At low doses, scopolamine makes people drowsy, compliant, and forgetful. At higher doses, it induces delirium, amnesia, and terrifying hallucinations. Victims might chatter, but what they said could be anything from genuine secrets to imaginary conversations with Queen Victoria. In other words, scopolamine wasn't a serum of truth. It was a serum of gibberish. Even today, scopolamine carries a sinister reputation. In Colombia, criminals allegedly use powdered forms nicknamed Devil's Breath. Victims under its influence may become compliant, handing over wallets, bank cards, even home addresses without resistance. But again, it's not about truth. It's about control. Victims often have no memory afterwards, which is useful for criminals but useless for interrogators hoping for accurate intelligence. So why does the idea endure? Because it's seductive. The thought that somewhere, somehow, there's a potion that can strip away lies and force honesty is irresistible. From witches' brews in folklore to spy films on the big screen, the truth serum keeps popping up. Hollywood loves it, of course. One jab, and the villain spills their secrets. But reality has always been messier. The Victorians may have dreamed of it over tea, the CIA tried it in laboratories, and the KGB injected it in interrogation cells, but none of them found what they were looking for. And yet the search continues. In the 20th century, barbiturates like sodium pentothal were touted as modern truth serums. In the 21st, neuroscientists talk about brain scans and lie detection drugs, but time and again, the dream slips away. Truth, it seems, is not a chemical to be unlocked. It's far more elusive. So what have we learned across this series? In Episode 1, we saw poisonous plants twisted into tools of mind control. In Episode 2, ricin from the castor bean turned an umbrella into a murder weapon. In Episode 3, cyanide pills and lipstick pistols proved how poisons shaped spy gadgets. And here in Episode 4, we've traced the myth of the truth serum, from Victorian tea tables to CIA labs, only to find that it never truly worked. The greatest secret of all, that in espionage, as in life, the truth can't be brewed in a teapot or injected with a syringe. It must be uncovered the hard way. Thank you for joining me for Poison and Espionage, the Dark Arts of Spies. If you've enjoyed this journey through history's deadliest intersections of plants and spycraft, please like, subscribe, and share. And stay tuned, because in Pete's world of poisonous plants there are always more deadly tales waiting to be told.